Hi, welcome to the Songcast.com presentation on Breaky CPK. Going to be a shoutcasting host, and joining me once again is Phil, the Thrill, the Honcast staff, and this is the Game Replays Tournament Game 2 here in this Best Out of 3 series. SK Gaming versus EG here in Game 2. EG currently leading 1-0 after a pretty dominating performance. Game 1, SK Gaming going to try to respond here in Game 2. They now have Fogged playing for them. Last game they were using a couple of ringers, but this game Enzo is their only ringer. Of course, they are still playing without Angry Testy, but they have at least Fogged coming and subbing for them, so it should help them a little bit in that sense, more normal for them to play with a similar roster, of course, but still playing with a ringer. We'll see how that affects them. As far as EG is concerned, they too are playing with a ringer once again in Mo from Clan EHH, but he did a fine job last time playing Valkyrie. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing how Game 2 plays out here. Can SK make a comeback and force a Game 3? Or are we going to see this wrapped up here? Again, the winner of this moves on to the semifinals here in the Game Replays Invitational. They will play the winner of INFS versus Wallin, the other quarterfinals matchup, one of the other ones. So, with that said, without further ado, I'm also joined by Phil the Thrill once again. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing well. Ready to get this game underway.
Hey, me too. All right, let's get this started. So we have the banning phase is actually just finished with the first pick going out right there. And so the bans, we have Flint Beastwood, Sandwraith, Dr. Repulsor, Bombardier, Chipper, Myrmidon, Thunderbringer, and Pharaoh. A couple of bans this time that were not banned last game and picked up. Obviously that being Thunderbringer and Chipper? Was Chipper picked up? No, Chipper wasn't picked up. So I guess Chipper's just a new ban altogether. Was he picked up? I'm still blanking. Anyways, I know Thunderbringer was picked up. But yeah, so the interesting thing to note here, though, is what wasn't banned, such as Pebbles, and in fact, he was picked up with the first pick for SK Gaming over there, Hellbringer, which was the first pick for EG, so no surprise there. Slither, though, he is not banned this time, and he has definitely been considered a very powerful hero. He did receive that nerf recently, only 300 vision on his wards now, so take that for how you will. I still think he's by all means a very powerful hero in competitive play, and by all means worth a pickup, of course. But he isn't banned in this game right now yet, so we'll see or he isn't banned, so we'll see if he is picked up. But your thoughts on the bans here, Phil?
Well, the Slither ban in general, Slither's still going to be just as, I shouldn't say just as useful. He's still going to be useful, especially the way competitive players play him. Having the additional wards, as far as the sight was concerned, that made him pretty overpowered in my opinion, but he's still going to be useful for pushing those lanes, still going to be useful in a one-on-one situation, still going to probably be the most powerful hero as far as 1 versus 1 is concerned, and he's going to have that great slow early on in the game where he can still be very useful. So I don't really see Slither's effectiveness being really hindered too much, especially because when you're talking about competitive teams, a lot of times, they're going to utilize warding anyway. So having the additional sight from Slither's wards was kind of more of a perk, an unnecessary and unneeded perk, in my opinion. So, like I said, as far as Slither's concerned, I don't expect him to be slowing down as far as being picked up in competitive play in the future, if not in this game. As far as the other ones are concerned, TB really being the only one that kind of stands out there because of just how dominant he was last game and his ability to rack up huge hero damage. I believe we saw earlier Fogged in the SK against EG series for Gosu gamers. Fogged played him and had over 100,000 hero damage by the end of the game. So he's definitely a very, very potent hero when you talk about tri-lanes. I think we even saw last game where he can run in a tri-lane or a pseudo tri-lane as they were running and still be effective in that kind of an atmosphere. Just overall burst damage picked up from him, is going to eliminate him from most games, in my opinion. He's just too good of a hero. But pretty standard bans overall, as we mentioned earlier in the last game. Nothing really stands out. Chipper, I don't believe he was banned last time around. I might be wrong. But obviously one of those heroes where you talk about EG, who actually banned him? It's not showing on my screen.
EG did.
Chipper. But EG did. So, I don't really know too many SK players that are really, really amazing with Chipper besides maybe Angry Testy, although last time we saw him play Chipper in the middle lane, he got just beat down by Chu in the mid lane. So not sure where or why that ban is necessarily there, but he's still a very powerful hero once the mid game arrives if he's got decent farm.
So obviously we're seeing the picks going on now here. In fact, very little time left for EG, and there we go. They finished off with their last 2 picks. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with the Legion team, seeing as they have a full 5 now, of course. So they went with Hellbringer to start things off. Then we got Andromeda, Soulstealer, Bubbles, and Hammerstorm. So, of course, they got Hellbringer. They don't have Dodo in this game, and he is normally their powerful Hellbringer player. So, curious to see who actually plays it in place of him. But yeah, very powerful team. They are probably going to run a tri-lane, although, not. Yeah, it probably will. It'll probably be Hellbringer, Andromeda, Hammerstorm. And then, if anything, like we saw last game, I mean, similar to the Thunderbringer trailing, which is just what the hell. But they made it work because Valkyrie and Hammerstorm played more of a roaming role rather than sitting in the trial lane. I'm sure we'll see a very similar thing, honestly, from Hammerstorm and Andromeda this game as well, with it being a near Hellbringer, but not necessarily stealing his experience because he's, of course, a hero that could benefit greatly from those levels. And, of course, that leaves Soulstealer and Bubbles, both very powerful solo heroes. And definitely expect them to be that. So Legion team, a lot of potential, great team fight, great team fight. Really like them for that. A great, powerful initiation, and really just an overall powerful team, sound team. Nothing really that stands out as being a big flaw in it. Your thoughts on the team, though, Phil?
Yeah, it's very similar to last game where they ran the Valkyrie instead of the Andromeda as part of the tri lane. It does not really surprise me whatsoever that they're kind of going for the same type of thing, and it's really nice to see EG back to this type of play because I think that they tried to kind of stay on par with a lot of teams like Fnatic MSI, who kind of perfected and really worked on the tri-lane strategy, and they. You don't need to fix what's not broken. And if there's one thing that we've seen EG be successful at in the past, it's running very, very aggressive type lineups. And if they can, get the heroes to do that, and you're going to let them get the heroes to do that, then there's no question in my mind that that's the kind of strategy they need to run here. And I mean, it's like you said, there's really no flaws in their team makeup. They have great early game fight potential as well as carry potential from Soulstealer and Hammerstorm if they choose to go that route. So they just have a very solid all around team with good crowd control capabilities and good team fight potential during the early and mid game.
We will see how it works out for them. But for now, of course, let's pause. So let's go ahead and do a fast forward, and then we'll do sync up as well. Let's go through this pause here. Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry. I have the thing, our auto skip pause or whatever.
Oh, do you? Does it stay on for you? Because I have to keep re-entering it.
Oh no, I just do it at the beginning of every replay. It's like a habit now.
Yeah, I should make that a habit. I'll try to remember that for now. Get to 920 on the replay counter.
920?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm there.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. 21, 22. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, Legion team, as always, very sound from EG here. We'll see how it works out. And yeah, they are going to be running, at least again initially. The 3 are going down there, but whether or not we see Hammer and Andromeda play very aggressive roamers and even doing the jungle pulls and everything, you'll probably see that instead of them just sitting in the lane, because by no means is Hellbringer a hero that they need to really babysit. We'll see, though. As far as SK Gaming goes, now their lineup. So once again, we're going to see Valkyrie play today. It's, I don't know what, all of a sudden, but Valkyrie just seems to be very popular pickup. Both games here, and one of the games we casted earlier as well. But it goes with Valkyrie, Wretched Hag, Witch Slayer, Magnus, and Pebble. So you'll look at that team. action. I mean, it's just gank written all over it, all about the skill shot, all about jumping in out of nowhere, really catching you off guard, and that's really where their lineup is going to excel. With that said, they are going to be a very early game push, really playing aggressive and hoping to win this game early on. Any sign of starting to fall behind, especially to that Soul Stealer and Hammerstorm even, it's going to be very, very dangerous for them, and especially because of team fights. I mean, mid-game, it's going to be, you got to figure it's going to be owned by the Legion team when it comes to team fights, of course, with their makeup, as we talked about earlier. So definitely expect very aggressive early play from SK Gaming. We'll see how they can manage with it, as they're going to be a very interesting trial lane themselves. Pebbles trial lane, nothing really that unordinary, but they're running with a Magnus in it. So, of course, Magnus, though, depending on how you look at it, he can be considered kind of a ranged hero, even though he is melee, but because of that Lava Surge has that range. But not like a Behemoth, though, because he actually goes in himself. So it's but they do have triple stun, so we'll see how it works out for them. Your thoughts, though, on the Hellborn team, Phil?
Pretty even range all throughout for all heroes, especially early on. Magnus stun not that far as range is concerned, so he's got to be careful if they decide to do anything early, though. So Pebbles and Witchslayer both have range stuns as well. So it's like you mentioned, if they can look to pick off this Hellbringer or Andromeda, that will obviously be preferable for them. But EG is gonna have to put themselves into some really questionable places for that to happen. And they're not really, as far as warding is concerned, they're not 100% set up to make anything happen in the jungle. So they have to run the risk of being caught out themselves. Also, heroes like Magnus, who they have low starting hit pools, and as well as he's got one of the lowest starting armors in the game, which is funny because Pebbles actually has the lowest starting armor in the game with 0.28 early on. So, just kind of something to think about as far as heroes that are going to take a lot of damage. And then you talk about people like Andromeda who have, armor reduction, Hammerstorm who, relies on physical damage. Those heroes are going to have to look to pick up some sort of HP boost or at least some early levels, and running those both in a tri-lane definitely is a little bit questionable. Although, if they are able to pull these things off correctly, I mean, they are going to have a very, very powerful mid-game for this team, or even early game, especially if Pebbles is able to pick up a portal key all around. In fact, every hero, well, as far as every hero at this bottom lane can really benefit from a very early portal key. Unfortunately, we'll probably see at least two of those heroes be, set pretty far back.
Yeah, that's, of course, the one hero that you do want to get on for anyone is, of course, Pebbles for SK Gaming. But, yeah, even on a hero like Magnus, he is very, it's hard to say, I say Pebbles, but you look at him, Magnus is definitely a hero that really does need a portal key to help himself be very, very, very effective and live up to his true potential. Speaking of that, I mean, you look throughout this whole game, and we have 6 heroes that come to mind right away that actually could benefit and normally do see perhaps a portal key on those heroes, 3 for each team. So, yeah, it's again, that goes with the aggressive nature of the game itself, and especially once the lineup chosen by the Hellborn team. We haven't seen Hammerstorm and Andromeda interact too much, and not very little action, really nothing, in fact, going on so far at this bottom lane. Very interesting start here, as both teams very timid. I mean, both teams realize that there's going to be a lot of stuns flying all over the place once initiation actually does happen. So it's just a matter of catching that someone out of, oh my god, Wretched Ag goes down in the middle lane. I'm going to rewind that. I have to rewind that. There's no way I'm going to miss that. Okay, so we got Wretched Ag here in the middle lane going against Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer dives onto him, throws in some auto attacks, and one more auto attack. There's another one, and the nuke, yes, barely in range, but did the job. So Chu actually picks up the hero kill right there onto Wretched Hag and finishes her off as a good job right there, knowing the distance of his long-range nuke and managing to finish her off. Pebbles, in the meantime, at the bottom lane, taking a little bit of pressure here. Throws out Stalagmites, missing everybody, though. Chucks Hammerstorm back right into a Magma stun, but Pebbles goes down right there. The damage already done. And now Witchslayer and Magnus, they are on the run. Witchslayer throws out a Graveyard Stun, a good placement, but the hammer still lands and dot damage. There's a Comet Stun from Andromeda to finish him off. And all of a sudden, it is a 3-0 hero kill advantage for EG. Real quickly, I'm in game 4-11, 4-12, 4-13, 4-14, 15, 16.
Okay.
All right, yeah, so just to catch up there. But, yeah, what was a very slow game, all of a sudden EG just takes off. Now up 3-0.
Well, they definitely have, like I said, or like you said, actually, once things go down, it's just really gonna kind of escalate from there. And I mentioned down at the bottom lane, those heroes, even though they have, especially Pebbles, who has pretty decent strength gain, pretty decent HP pool, he does suffer from having very low armor, so he's going to take additional damage, especially when you have the Aurora from Andromeda on there, putting you into the negatives. The loss of, as far as like how much damage you take, is so much greater once you go into the negatives. I believe it's like you take 5% more for each minus armor that you have. So, and if you have like one armor, it's only like 0.5%. Actually, we're gonna see. Actually, down here at the bottom, Hellbringer getting caught out here. Looked like a missed stun from Pebbles. Couldn't be sure, but they are gonna hit to get the Chuck. And looks like Magma's picking up a hero kill on there. And meanwhile, at the middle lane, pretty solid gank set up there to take out Wretched Hag once again. And then at the top lane now is SmackDown, as Bubbles gets taken out here by Tralfamador, who's playing that Valkyrie. So, a couple nice kills there for SK getting back in, but definitely action starting to pick up here in this game.
Yeah, it really is. All of a sudden, it's just starting to roll out, and right now, 4-2 hero code advantage for EG. But yeah, obviously the bottom tri lane, they saw that Hammerstorm at least wasn't down here, so they decided to take advantage of that and go on to Hellbringer, and it was very easy because both Hammerstorm and Andromeda were not down there. As far as Valkyrie killing Bubbles, unfortunately missed the beginning of that due to watching the middle action, but I'm sure it has something to do with a well-placed arrow and just a lot of overall consistent damage throughout the laning phase. So good job right there from Tralfamador playing Valkyrie, able to take out B-Kid here on Bubbles. Another arrow, I heard the animation, but just obviously doing a cancel cast right there. But yeah, Wretched Hag is actually going to lose this tower in the middle lane. Can she deny it now is the question. You see them kind of both sitting there, and Chu takes the tower kill just before Wretched Hag gets it, and with that double damage rune he has activated. Chu is dominating mid. 42 and 18 creep score already. And he already has that one hero kill to go with that assist. Now 46 and 18. We're only just over 6.5 minutes
500
in.
gold per minute.
Yeah, he is just taking off right now. 500 gold per minute, as you said. It kind of makes you think maybe would they've been better off with putting Pebbles mid instead. Obviously that he can you apply that combo early on, apply a lot of damage early on. Putting Pebbles mid instead, I don't know. It's a tough decision, and maybe making the Valkyrie try lane and have Wretched Hag solo top or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's clearly a Wretched Hag going 1-1 against the Solstier is not working out for him. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, we have Pebbles. Speaking of him, he actually goes down right here. Steam Bat's going to be used by Magma. There's a Graveyard Stun on Andromeda. There's a double stun, though, and a Wish. They're going to finish him off. Magma's going to try to escape here. Uses the health potion, canceled immediately, though. And Hellbringer going to finish him off with the auto attack. And SK Gaming starting to look like once again they're in a pretty bad spot right here. Now a 7-2 hero kill advantage for EG. And things just keep seeming to get better and better for them as the game progresses. And they're going to look to get a little bit of a push here themselves now in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, it's like I said, they have a very, very strong mid-game team. And really both teams do. I think that that SK's team, as far as the end of the early game and beginning of the mid game, is really where their time to shine is. But they're not picking up anything that they need to. Pebbles isn't getting those levels, and you really got to get early farm on him, early levels on him to make him effective. We saw down at the bottom lane, Hellbringer just basically took a stun, a combo from him, and didn't even drop below half health. They had, Magnus come in there afterwards, and then it ended up resulting in a double kill down at the bottom lane. So, running Pebbles in the tri lane, it's kind of, they had to do something similar to what they did with TB, as far as what EG did with TB last game, which is allow him to kind of just be in the area, but allow him to get all the creep kills and the farm, as far as going like one against Hellbringer and then moving on like that. It just didn't happen.
Well, Pebbles is trying to make up for a pretty bad start himself. actually near at the top lane, but he needs to be careful. He needs to be really careful, because here comes a 4-man gank onto him. Out comes Bubbles with the shell serve. The stalagmites are used, thinking that Bubbles would pour with it, but it doesn't matter. He gets caught by the hammer, and down he goes. Just, that was just horrible positioning for him, and good job from the Legion team, catching him off guard, and he was not ready for that. Valkyrie did pour it in, but obviously way too late, not able to do anything herself. So, Legion team, they are... Portal Key already picked up by Chu, by the way. Wow. Portal Key's team boots, power supply, and bottle. Just around the 9-minute mark, pretty much, is when he had all of that. So, that is scary, yet again, for SK Gaming, just like last game. Chu is off to a great start. Valkyrie kind of hiding out to the side here. Oh, but Hammerstorm charging in, though, with those Striders. Valkyrie's in a lot of trouble. There's the stun. The nuke's coming out. One more auto attack. Yes, the Leafs are right into 2 more heroes anyways, so it was not going to get away. And EG, yet again, they're just so good at just sneaking up on top of you. And really they're playing SK's game right now. You look at the matchups again, the SK heroes. They're the heroes that should be sneaking up on the Legion team. But they have not been able to do so successfully whatsoever. And EG is going to push in another tower. This will be their 3rd tower kill of the game already. As long as they kill it, and with the creep wave, they should be able to. Double damage. It seems like Chu always has a rune activated, and especially double damage. And he yet again has one activated up here at the top lane. And why not? They're going to continue to push. So SK, yet again, just in a horrible spot. Magnus is there, but not much he can do by himself. We'll get support soon by Valkyrie, but even then, they need their whole team to be here if they want to stop a push like this.
Yeah, it's getting a bit out of hand here, in the favor of EG once again, just like the last game. The hero kills, as far as being 7 heroes down, is not insurmountable. However, being 10,000 gold down when you're not even going for like a push-type strategy. I mean, even in Dirty Minds against Empire, which in my opinion is probably like if you remember that game, that's like what a push strategy should look like. Level 1 Kongor, all towers down before the 7-minute mark, as far as all outer towers go down. They ended up losing the game, obviously, but they were still only up 6,000 gold right there. So it really shows just how well these heroes have farmed not only towers, but heroes as well as just solid creep scores.
Yeah, EG is just massively winning this game in every aspect, and unfortunately for a spectator point of view, obviously that is it's unexpected, really. I mean, with such a matchup, again, it's not a team really on either side by any means, but still, it is the EG versus SK matchup. And from Game 1 being a pretty solid victory for EG, Game 2 you're just being a roll right now for EG, just over the 12-minute mark. It's not looking good for SK, but they're going to give it their all, of course. They're going to try to fight here at the top tower, it looks like. Arrow comes out. Oh, but dodged by both Soul Stealer and Bubbles right there. Hellbringer ultimate. There's that initiation. That team fight potential from the Legion team. Pebble's going to drop immediately after he got us to Stalagmites. Hellbringer running out in front. He takes a stun, though. Healing a little bit with the life void. No, it's not going to be enough. Barely goes down, but damage is done by the Legion team. Look at the Legion players' lives, though, once again. They're dropping. Soul Stealer ultimate goes off right there. Wanted to finish off Magnus, and now they're going to walk away. 4 of them are still up, all pretty low on life, but they should be able to push a secondary tower as well. You do see Valkyrie, she's off to the top right here, a shell serve, and there's a hammer, and all of a sudden, she just evaporates right there. Wretchedak also ports in, he gets stunned immediately, and then realizes it's best to try to blink away. The tower's going to be taken out, it's going to be denied though by the Hellborn side, but at least it gets taken out for EG, but the damage just keeps coming, and they somehow just keep managing to stay alive barely. Now 13-3 in hero kills.
That's something that they've always done very well. They've always been able to play aggressively. They've always been able to kind of judge when's best for them to go in and when's best to get out. And when you have early items and early levels on an opposing team, obviously you can afford a little bit more in the way as far as leniency when you're in a team fight, or even trying to take out a tower doing a little bit of diving, you can afford a little bit more that way. So they've done a very, very good job of basically just lasting in these team fights and getting the kills where they could really get them and forcing the opposing team to initiate necessarily, maybe when they don't necessarily want to. And that's the kind of game that EG has been known for playing for a very long time, and they've always done it very well.
Seems like we go back to that every single time we cast EG's games, but once again, as it's shown right here, it's just very true. But, I mean, SK Gaming, I keep wanting to, criticize them, but you keep remembering that they are playing without Angry Testy. But still, I mean, they are a team that really just goes on a roller coaster. They go up and down, whether or not it's because they're missing players or whatever it is. It seems like they're on a roller coaster ride where one couple of weeks they'll be great, like in the Ghost of Gamers event, all of a sudden they just exploded and they're just winning games all over the place. And we've also seen them in games like this where they just can't seem to get anything going. Nothing works for them, and really in both games. And they just fall over. They just get dominated, frankly. So it's unfortunate to see such a high top caliber team, kind of up and down like this. But that's just how it is. EG, though, of course, they deserve all the credit because they keep on doing it. Once we have initiation right here, once again, and just so much team fight potential. They're locking them down. Wretched Hag, a pretty good ultimate, hit several, if not all, heroes right there. But just too much damage from the Legion team. 3 already dying. Hag and Pebbles. Pebbles wasn't even there. He's actually busy pushing the bottom lane in, actually. Wants to get this tower taken out. And he's going to get it unless vulnerability is used any second. But, there goes the vulnerability, in fact. No one going to port, though, so he will get the tower kill. But, yeah, EG now pushing in the middle lane. The tower's dropping right here. And we actually already had a concede foe attempt from Trafalmador. Swap on a Wretched Hag, which he blinks away before too much follow-up happens. But yeah, obviously SK, they're frustrated. It's just not happening for them today. Even with Fogged coming in here for Game 2, hasn't been enough for them to make a comeback and, perhaps outpicked, whatever you want to call it. Soulstealer, by the way, got picked off right there. Good silver bullet combination for Witcher. He ends up paying for his life with it, though. But at least he got the Nemesis. And now we have Hellbringer getting caught, and he will go down as well. So the Hellbringer team chasing right here. Bobble's trying to finish off Valkyrie, and will get the kill on Valkyrie just before he goes down. In fact, he's going to stay alive as Wretched Hag's the one caught now. Oh, he still gets stunned, though. The creeps are attacking him, and the creeps will kill him. Oh, that's unfortunate. The stun happened. Usually it would miss right there, but actually still stunned him despite blinking, and, well, the creeps took care of him. Well, EG in the end, once again, win that fight despite losing Soulstealer early on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think, especially after the first series or the last series that we saw these two teams play, a lot of people were expecting a very, very, kind of a rematch where we were going to see a couple more really epic games. But really, EG has just done nothing but take it to the house during this entire series. As far as Game 1 is concerned, and now Game 2, looking very, very strong already. Their gold lead just continues to increase. 14.5 thousand gold lead, almost 5,000 experience lead. So, experience-wise, they're definitely up there, considering it's only 17.5 minutes into the game. But that gold lead is just what's really keeping them, 100%. In control of this game. Hellbringer's picked up his Astrolabe. We haven't really gone over the items. Soulstealer finished his Shrunken Head before the last team fight. Actually ended up buying before he died. Andromeda's kind of been doing his thing, but enough to for a Blood Chalice power supply and continue to do the whole warding thing. Bubbles has picked up his portal key as well with the Mystic Vestments, and Steam Boots and Hammerstorm, also kind of in the same realm as Andromeda, doing the support thing, not really picking up anything. Although he does have 1,300 gold saved up, so we may see him pick up something maybe like a Mighty Blade, or could be working towards a portal key of his own if the game gets that far into it. Valkyrie has picked up Steam Boots and just has the Agility Ring, Soul Scream Ring, Wretched Hag, Steam Boots, and a bottle, Blood Chalice. Magnus, nothing really. Witch Slayer, nothing really. And Pebbles, he actually has his portal key. But, looking over at the Hellborn team, he can still pick off Bubbles and Andromeda and be relatively safe in that way, but the other 3 heroes are kind of out of reach for him.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that just right after you did, but the Pebbles, yeah, they're getting that portal key. It's honestly not that bad of a portal key pickup. She had around the 17 and a half minute mark. It's actually pretty good, but because of the way this game has been going, yeah, you're at a point where several heroes on the Legion team are pretty vulnerable. So Bubbles in Andromeda specifically, but even then, you do want to have it at a point, obviously, where you not only have the levels advantage, but you can just start roaming around and start picking up players with it. But because of the tower pushes, because they don't have any outer towers left up. Actually, they only have one tower kill themselves at the bottom lane. They just don't have the room to make it work. And Solstice, he picks up that token of life, actually, after that Conqueror kill that just happened. So, yeah, EG continues the dominating streak right here. They're now pushing the bottom lane. They catch Pebbles. So, speaking of Pebbles, and he will just drop right here. Could do absolutely nothing. So, it doesn't even get the opportunity to use this portal key combination right there. Valkyrie does push in the top lane, at least. So, positive news for SK, but here we go now, a middle bottom lane split push right here from EG as Solstice, they're pushing in the middle lane a little bit, actually falls back, and I'm guessing gonna bottle up a Hastrin right here. And Valkyrie already ported back to her base as she should have. Right now, counter warding and warding attempts going on from SK right there. As Andromeda, is she going to counter ward? Nope, not yet at least. Just thinking about it. There we go. There's the counter ward, and well, there goes the ward right there. Arrow's going to come out though and hits Andromeda. Don't think they're going to follow it up, and Hellbringer's like, well, okay, I'll take care of the wards then. So, wards go down anyways in favor of EG, and the split push continues of the middle and the bottom lane right here. Pebbles, he's back up. He has that portal key ready. Thinking about it. There we go. The initiation on the Soul Steal there. Wretched Act. Nope, nothing. That was a stun right there, but with everyone nearby, would have been pretty much suicide, obviously, for the Hellborn team, but maybe worth a try? I don't know. But he has a token of life anyway, so yeah, wouldn't have really mattered. But they're going to try to maybe have one last defensive stand right here. Make it work. The tower is dropping, though. Solstice there using that haste when he had bottled up. And going to pressure this tower even more. Go for the kill right now. Vulnerability is going to be his. Magnus missing a stun. But now comes the Hellbringer ultimate. Solstice there runs into the middle of it, activating his. 2 players dropping just like that. Solstice then plays all the way to the well. He finishes off Valkyrie while she was in the well. Swap on Magnus. He cannot make it back. Wretched Egg with a bat blast. Just so much damage, though. And he, too, is going to die in the well. A quad kill genocide for EG. And that will very likely do it in their favor. Fogg does buy back, but what is it going to do? Solstice there, he's about to die, but again, the token alive, he probably would prefer to die at this point. And Wretched Hag may take care of that for him. There we go. So the token of life is going to activate, and now Wretched Hag gets locked down, and down she goes again. There's a vote to concede. There's a disconnection, and that's going to do it. So EG wins 2 games to nothing. Very dominating fashion. Wow. And that's going to do it. So SK, they're done on the Game Replays tournament, and they have others to think about now. So it's unfortunate that we did not get to see the A-team rosters from either team, but that's just how it goes sometimes. We were talking about earlier. EG, though, yet again, showing why they're EG, come through with a 2-0 series win here.
Yeah, overall both games kind of lackluster in my opinion. I hate to sound pessimistic, but just not what I think not what anyone was expecting. Certainly not what I was expecting to see from these 2 teams. And you do make a point about obviously neither team really having their quote unquote A roster here, but looking at EG, you got Chu, you got Fuji Apples. What else do you need? You throw a couple paper clips and a stapler on their team, and they'll probably be able to at least make something work. SK, on the other hand, the lack of Angry Testy, lack of Fodge in the first game, or even Tobacco or something like that, not having those guys in there really ends up hurting them. Not to say that Kabop, who played in the first game for SK, is a bad player, but by no means is he a bad player. But it's not just about skill level in a team game. It's about coordination, communication, and if you don't have it, you're not going to win, regardless of how good or bad, or how good your picks are, or how bad the other team is or anything like that. There's just so much involved in this type of game. So it's unfortunate, but like I said, you really have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. And well, no matter what the reasons, EG is victorious. 2-0 series victory, and they move on to the semifinals of the Game Replays Invitational Tournament. Again, they'll play the winner of Wallin versus INFS. And then that's for the bottom side of the brackets. The other semifinals is going to be XFin versus the winner of Fnatic MSI versus ICE. That's going to do it for casting today, guys. We did 4 casts in total today. Again, those will be up on VOD hopefully later tonight, if not tomorrow. And you can definitely check them out. And we will continue our game replay coverage tomorrow on Monday. Probably just one series, maybe two. We'll probably just do one, and we'll go from there. So throughout this week, we will finish the coverage. And yeah, as always, tune into this Honcast Daily Cast in general. So thanks for tuning in, guys. A lot of fun. Had some good matches today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And as always, stay tuned to Honcast.com for much, much more coverage. Coverage done for the day. Thanks for tuning in once again, and we will see you tomorrow.